Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. This is the second to last Friday in March. Yeah, can't believe it. This month is almost over. I'm really excited though for what's going on later today. Before I get into that, I have to talk about, obviously at this point you guys know, we're going to be talking about yesterday's episode of Hot Ones. But before I get into any of that, I do have a low and high and act of kindness. Let's see. What would my low be? I guess my low is the fact that it's getting cold out again. In fact, I actually really saw this one funny yet also very true meme of this one, of a picture of like a snow-covered city, and like in the foreground, there's a groundhog saying, "I lied." That was funny. That actually got a chuckle out of me. I mean, here's the thing. Where I am right now, it's cold, but I wouldn't necessarily call it unbearable. I mean, there's no snow on the ground as of right now. In fact, from what I can tell, as the sun is rising, we have a clear blue sky at the moment. So, basically, if you didn't know it was cold outside, you'd think we'd be having a nice day. So I can't really complain. However, I can't deny, when you are outside, you do feel it. And it can be a real pain in the rear end sometimes. I mean, last time I checked, we were in spring, right? And listen, stuff like this happens every year around this time. You know, let's just grin and bear it for just a few more weeks. You know, as time goes on, we're going to get warmer weather on a more consistent basis. I think we can stomach just a little bit more cold. I mean, we've actually had a pretty mild winter. I mean, we had some pretty bad days in terms of snow, to be sure. But comparatively, this is a fairly mild winter. And I think it's made time go all the faster. Which means, I would hate for the possibility of it being nothing but raining during the summer. Don't get me wrong, I like rain. Listen, during the summer, you need rain. Especially if you're like growing gardens and stuff. But, you gotta. Point is, weather is crazy in upstate New York, okay? That's the point you should take from this. My high is I got to see my family yesterday. That was nice. I got to be with my mom and dad for a little bit. It was nice. Got to spend some time with them. And my act of kindness was... Actually, what was my act of kindness? I did help my mom watch my nephews for a little bit yesterday. I did that. My nephews didn't really have the best behavior yesterday, but a part of me is a little bit concerned about that, but at the same time, they're not my kids, so I can't really say anything about that necessarily. Listen, it's 2024. At this point, even expressing a little bit of concern could mean, complete family breakdown sometimes. Trust me, I know. So, Gwyneth Paltrow on Hot Ones. Let's get into that, shall we? You know what? Before I say this, I have to say, Gwyneth Paltrow is like, I was legit a little bit worried for her. I was going in. But man, when she got to the bottom, and even Sean said this himself, she was like the most calm, relaxed. Don't get me wrong, she was still feeling heat. And she quite literally took a lot of heat. But, well, yeah, like, I guess that is quite literal, isn't it? Point is, she did great. Like, if anyone was disrespecting Gwyneth Paltrow before yesterday's episode of Hot Ones, I'm pretty sure some of the haters have died down a little bit. And, much like in any other Hot Ones episode, I learned a lot about her. For example, Sean asked her about, building, her brand Goop in an environment that seems to prioritize, scaling. And, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If you're one of those entrepreneurs or stuff like that makes their own company, you definitely have my undying respect. Because there is a pressure involved. And it can be really difficult to do that. And I'm sure sometimes, you can sell out and, make a killing and possibly a living that way. But one thing Gwyneth Paltrow mentioned is sometimes the more commercial choice isn't the right one. I mean, I like to make this joke sometimes of like, the only way I would ever stop making videos is if someone gave me, a price so ridiculous that I had no choice but to say yes, pretty much. But no one can ever match my price. So, there you go. Yeah, think long and hard. And it was so funny, the second win, Sean didn't even ask a question. They just talked about, like, Sean's overall opinion of hot sauce. Which, he does like it. I mean, here's the thing. He likes using hot sauce. He likes putting it on stuff. He never wants to see a chicken wing ever again when the episode's over. Which, understandable. I mean, here's the thing. In one aspect, I definitely consider myself the anti-Sean. Because, let's say for the sake of hypothetical, I'm on Hot Ones. And I probably have like the worst experience taking the heat from the hot wings. I would immediately go back to wings later. I totally would. In fact, I might actually go get more wings after the episode. That's how much I love wings. But that's just me. They talked about how when Gwyneth Paltrow did Shakespeare in Love, they talked about how like she has a good ear for listening to different dialects. She grew up like making prank calls and doing accents for friends. And like most people don't even realize when you speak in a different accent, be it Southern or be it how about English, like the intricacies involving like muscle movement in this particular, in your mouth, like moving your tongue in different ways than you normally would when you talk. Like most people don't even realize when you speak in a different accent, a lot of work really does go into it, both anatomically and physiologically, which I never even thought of it that way before. But so next time you think about like doing an accent or something like that, just think like, how am I moving my mouth normally when I talk? And how can I move my mouth, or how can I talk so I sound what I'm supposed to sound like? It's actually quite fascinating when you think about it. She talked about how when she built Goop, she didn't want her brand to be shrouded in shame. Because basically they talked about provocation and how they never really set out to be provocative. They just want to talk about things that others weren't talking about. Bring more agency and individuality forward. And that's important. Not for literally for life in general, you need to bring more agency and individuality forward. For yourself and others. And that's really important. There was a couple true or false questions, like Kiefer Sutherland actually did babysit Gwyneth Paltrow when she was 7. There was a head made for, a fake head was made for for Seven and wasn't used in Seven, but it was used 16 years later in the movie Contagion. Which, here's the thing, maybe it was. Like, the head was made, and like for a split second you can maybe see it in Contagion. And it is true that Bill Clinton passed out asleep during a White House screening of Emma. I could then say what, and then, because it was funny, one of the comments, well, if Bill Clinton's falling asleep, I can only imagine this is probably not a very good movie. And that turned out to be true. And then she said something I can't say on camera. I'm trying not to say a certain word in a calendar year. And my record for not saying it is, for saying said word is, I've said it twice last year. I don't want to say the word. Don't want to risk it. I'm going to say that almost a quarter of the way into the year, I haven't said that word. I haven't even thought of it. So that's cool. She talked about what else? Okay, so the guy who made American Fiction once said the movie American Fiction that just won an Oscar, I think for screenplay maybe? I forget. But anyway, the guy said, instead of one $200 million movie, try doing 20 $10 million movies. And here's the thing. When you make the former, you tend to try and reach out to a lot of audiences, and sometimes things get lost in translation. That doesn't work. Like when you do the latter, again, the 20 for 10, there's more diversity in the arts. There's actually less at stake. Like, the films that are being made are how the creators wanted them to be made. Like instead of like a big, Hollywood production company, like doing the talking for you, you have your voice when you do, again, a smaller budget movie. And Gwyneth Paltrow did a lot of those movies when she was a kid and growing up. So it's helped me learn a lot. They talked about how to make a Buster Paltrow cocktail, which is a whiskey-based cocktail inspired by your grandfather. Apparently it's 2 ounces of rye or whiskey, basically any spirit. Or not any spirit, obviously it's got to be rye or whiskey. 1 ounce of maple syrup, 1 ounce of lemon juice. And here's the interesting thing. You can shake or stir it. It's kind of cool. I mean, one of my favorite YouTube channels to watch is How to Drink. Shout out to Greg from How to Drink. I believe if you use fresh lemon juice or fresh citrus, that constitutes more that you need to shake it. I think that's how it works. Again, I'm not that much of an expert. So here was the most interesting thing. Again, I mentioned that for the bomb, she was the most compelled and composed I'd seen anyone, which is awesome. Doing thumbs up right there. But when she took the bomb, or ate the bomb, Sean then asked her a whole bunch of movie taglines from movies that she's done. And with the exception of one, she got them all right. Like, when good luck is a long shot, you have to hedge your bets. Hard 8. The one that she got wrong is life was too small to contain her. The answer was Sylvia. She thought it was Shallow Hal. I like Shallow Hal. It's better to be a fake somebody than a real nobody. The Tales of Mr. Ripley. Nothing spreads like fear, Contagion. It doesn't matter where you've been as long as you come back strong, country strong. There's 2 sides to every story. Sliding Door. Rock and romance exploding in this Texas town. Shout. And again, she got them all but one right. That's pretty impressive. I mean, some of those movies she did there was one movie she did 1991, she remembered the tagline. That's insane. Okay, her favorite herb at the moment is, it was so funny. Like, for the for the ninth wing, Sean asked her what her favorite herb was at the moment, and she likes all herbs except for dill. You know what? I will admit, there was a time I actually kind of thought dill was overrated, but then I started making my own pickles, and now I really like it too. I like all herbs, actually. Although, so I can't really say I agree with Gwyneth Paltrow on her opinion on dill. What I can agree on with her, though, is her favorite herb. Because it's my favorite herb, which is, of course, basil. I love basil, man. Oh my God, like, in the summer when, like, tomatoes are in season, my mom makes a mean caprese salad, and she get, like, fresh basil for it. Oh my God. I can't wait for summer to get here. I really can't. And finally, for the last dab, with nothing but millions of Scoville units running through her veins, Sean asked Gwyneth Paltrow to talk her through a skincare routine. I'm being serious. Like, for the last wing, Sean asked Gwyneth Paltrow to talk him through a skincare routine. Which, I mean, look, I'm a dude, which I know really isn't the greatest excuse. So I don't really know the intricacies of, you know, how skincare works. But I do know that if that is your thing, more power to you. You got my respect. You're clearly a better person than me. I'm just not good at that kind of stuff. But again, Gwyneth Paltrow talked Sean through a skincare routine. He looked okay, I guess. I mean, again, here's the thing. It was a skincare routine using Goop products. Which, okay. So, honestly, this was a very entertaining episode. I learned a lot. And, well, I say I learned a lot. I mean, for starters, I learned how to make a pretty decent cocktail. I learned that, you know, individuality and agency are more important than, you know, simply being a business at large. And the next time you think about a movie that you want to see, you know, I'm sure the popular choice would be the big budget blockbuster, but keep an eye on, like, lesser known movies that are coming out, because you never know. Well, that's what I got from it. I hope y'all like this video. If you like this video, you can share it on social media. As always, I'm very homely in this video. For all of you guys watching Joe video, we have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. Everybody you guys want to talk to him, we're here to let know his back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby. And now I have to mentally prepare for tonight. I'm going to another country music concert. Hey, see ya.